reading conversation vocabulary lesson. Let's get right into it. I'm going to open our Ingu website where we usually read from. And I always mention that. I'll say it one more time. You can go there, read some articles by yourself, and they offer one-on-one lessons if you'd like to do that. But quite a nice resource for daily kind of news or things that are going on around the world that you can practice to use your English. And then when you come across a foreigner, you can try and talk about, I hear that the first 23-year-old was first woman to swim the length of the UK or some, you can have something to talk about. All right, so let's see. Today we're going to go, well, let's see this one. This should be interesting. Interesting conversation topic. All right, so the topic of the lesson, more people paying to use Tinder in 2022. So let's see, first we'll start with our vocabulary. As always, I'll read it out. I'll go through the definition and an example sentence. If the definition's still not clear for you, maybe type it in Google, see what you can find. Maybe they have a better explanation. And like I mentioned, sometimes you can have one word, for example, date. Obviously, it's got more than one meaning. Like today's date is 12th of November, and you can go on a date with somebody. So, sometimes there's more definitions to it than just the one that they give you. Obviously, the one that they give here is the one that's related to the article. Okay. So remember to hit pause, read it after, make sure you get the pronunciation. Let's go. First one, date. And that is to spend time with someone you are or may soon be in a romantic relationship with. To have a romantic relationship with someone. All right. Kevin dated a girl from Senegal for 2 months. Okay. And then also, yeah, you can click there. We've got a arrow and you can see it's kind of, let's see, they say we've been dating for just over 6 months. So these are actually the same. It's just dated. So they dated for 2 months. The relationship is over. Dating is obviously a continuous thing. That's with the ing. It's still happening at the moment. So we've been dating just over 6 months. But you can also say, so if you're in a relationship with somebody, but you're not married, you can say we are dating. We've been dating for over 6 months. But you can tell your friend, oh, I've got a date on Friday night. So there's different ways we can use the word date. So if you just go on a date, you're seeing this person one time, maybe not. There's some romantic relationship, going forward, but that's the initial. We're going on a date. And even if you're in a relationship, me and my wife, we've been married for 11 years. We can still say, oh, we're going on a date on Friday. It's some evening where we're doing something romantic, having a romantic evening with one another. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Disappointing. Oh, a lot of dates are disappointing. All right. Not as good as one has hoped for or expected. I thought the ending of the movie was a bit disappointing. Revenue, money that a government or organization earns. Revenues for the airline industry are down this year. Yeah. A feature, an important quality of something. The best feature of best feature on my new car is the heated seats. That's the best feature then. Okay. Dramatically, by a large amount, extent, etc., in an exciting or impressive way. Changes in the exchange rate can dramatically affect companies that trade internationally. And yeah, they have another. The game ended dramatically as Manchester United won 4-3. All right, so let's go right to the article. And again, I'm going to read through everything. You can pause after each little paragraph and read it. Make sure you get the pronunciation. Or you can do it right at the end and read the whole article yourself. But be sure to read it. Practice pronouncing, practice saying the words in English. Even if you cannot have a conversation, just by reading out loud, it's the same as what you're talking. Your brain is processing words in English. Your tongue is making the right sounds. So it's all, it's all good exercise. Don't let not having somebody to speak to you stop you from speaking. Okay. So more people paying to use Tinder in 2022. Many people across the world have been looking for ways to save money in 2022, but it looks like some are making sure they have a little left over for dating apps. That's right. While large companies like Amazon and Meta have had a few disappointing months, Tinder, one of the world's most popular dating apps, has seen an increase in users who are paying for the service. Match Group, the company that owns Tinder and other dating apps like Hinge and Pairs, saw its total revenue grow in the 3 months to the end of September 2022. And it said this was helped by a 7% increase in the number of people paying to use Tinder. The app, on which people swipe to the right on their screen when they see someone they like, can be used for free, but there are options to pay for extra features. Some of these paid for options allow users to see who has liked them, for example, or meet users in locations other than the one where they live. Tinder began in 2012 and, according to the company, is available in 190 countries and in more than 40 languages. It says the app has been downloaded more than 340 million times, but the company is not expecting more growth in 2022 as the global economic situation continues to have an impact on people's spending. In Japan, where Tinder is the second most popular dating app after Pairs, Match Group said that growth has slowed dramatically since 2019 because of the coronavirus pandemic. Excuse me. All right. So we've got some questions related to the article. Let's see if you remember what we read. I'll read through them, try and answer it, and then I'll see if I can answer it. Sometimes I can't. And my short-term memory is not that good. All right. So then we'll go back and look. First one, what extra features can Tinder users pay for? Got it. How many countries is Tinder available in? And does Tinder expect to see more growth in 2022? All right, what extra features can Tinder users pay for? I think they said you can pay to see who liked you. But isn't that the point of the app? Isn't that what you should? Anyway, that's what they said. And you can maybe meet people outside of the area where you live. And I think that, I don't know, that was what I remember. How many countries? I think they said 190 countries. And do they expect more growth? They said they don't expect more growth. So let's see. There we go. Some of these paid for options allows users to see who has liked them. But I thought that's how it works. How else would you know if somebody liked you? Okay. Or meet users in locations other than one where they live. That's what I said as well. Yeah, I got that. All right, 190 countries. There we go. And they said that they did not, but the company is not expecting more growth in 2022 as the global economic situation is not improving. Okay, let's go to the discussion then. Again, I'm going to read the question. I'll answer it in the way that I would answer it. You can hit pause and then answer in the way that you would respond to me. Or you can stop first. You can answer first and see if I kind of agree with what you said. Either way, whatever you find works. Number one, what are your thoughts on the recent increase in Tinder's paying users? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, that's the way people go about it these days, no? Because it's, I wish they had that when I was younger. You know, when I was younger, um, yeah, when I was younger, I just want to see if that I'm going to talk. Okay, anyway, yeah, when I was younger, you had to go up to a person and you know, you had to talk to the person and you don't even know if they like you or not. And then if they don't like you, it's like this rejection in your face, like standing there in public getting rejected. But that was what you had to do. And that was, you know, nerve-wracking, but you know, you got it gotta do what you gotta do. Nowadays, you can just swipe, 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 and whoever swipes back is like, ah, you like me, let's talk. It's so much easier. So, yeah. But then again, I don't know. I don't know what I suppose there's pros and cons with either way. But these are the times we live in. So, all right, number two, do you know any couples who met through a dating app? Well, no, but I actually met my wife on Facebook, which is not a dating app, so I don't know if that would count. But yeah, when I arrived in Thailand, I didn't know anybody. I was looking to meet new people, so I just typed in, what did I typed in like a search for people. I just searched people in Chiang Mai, the city where I was, and then it shows you people that were there, and I just added a bunch of people, and because I was quite into cycling, I added this one guy was riding a bicycle, and he's from Chiang Mai, so I added him. It's like, ah, that could be a good friend, and I went through his friend list, looked Chiang Mai, and I added my wife, and luckily I added this guy first, because if we didn't have any mutual friends, my wife only accepts people that have mutual friends, so if it's some random stranger, she wouldn't have accepted. Send messages out to the people like, hey, I want to meet new people, whatever, whatever. And she showed me around the town, and yeah, here we are 11 years later. So I guess that was the start of Tinder. That was before. What did they say? Tinder started in 2012 because that was 2011, I think it was. Yeah. So next one. Do any of your friends often complain about dating? No. Most of my friends are married. So yeah, I don't know anybody who's complaining about dating. In your opinion, what are the worst things about dating? Like about dating itself. I mean, just that introduction, that's what I already mentioned, that's kind of terrifying in the old days. I don't know nowadays how it would be. But the worst things about dating is getting to know the person because everybody, in the beginning, everybody's trying to impress, like, oh, I want to show my best side so this person likes me more. And then after a while, so yeah, that's nice. You get to see all the nice things about the person, but then after time, the real person starts showing up and getting to know that real person and then deciding like, oh, is this who I want to spend the rest of my life with? Or are these things a bit off-putting? That's kind of difficult, and learning, especially if you've been single for a long time, learning to adjust to sharing your life with another person. I think that can also be difficult, if you're used to just looking after yourself, just making sure that you are okay. Now, all of a sudden, I need to consider this person. I need to sacrifice things that I might want for the other person. And sometimes they don't sacrifice things back, and then you get upset, and it's like a back and forth. And then they sacrifice something, and they think that you're not doing the same thing back, and then they upset at you. So it's like this whole getting used to each other and learning how each other, how the other person works. Yeah, that can be tricky at times, a lot of times, most of the times. But you do get used to it. It does get better. All right, number five. Do you expect dating apps to continue to grow over the next few decades? Yes, 100%. Technology changes everything, and it'll change the way that people date as well. Further discussion. Have any of your friends or family recently started dating someone? Uh, I don't know. Um, I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't, not any of my close family. Yeah. Do you know any couples who are planning to get married soon? Um, no, I don't. I don't. Sorry. And if I forgot somebody, then sorry about that too. Wait, who? Somebody that, who was it? Somebody, somebody proposed. Now I forgot. I did see on social, it was something on social, not like a friend that I see every day, but one of the people that I know got engaged, but I can't for the life of me remember. Okay, which of the couples you know have been together the longest? Um, the longest? Probably my some family, my aunt and uncle. They've been together for who knows long, probably more than 50, probably close to 50 or more than 50 years. Um, yeah, I don't know if my personal friends and my close friends, I don't know. I don't keep count of these kind of things. What is the best relationship advice you've heard? Hmm. When you in an argument with somebody or with your partner, that's what I believe. Oh, that's kind of going in the next question. Okay. Um, I'll leave that then. When you in an argument with the other person, you need to the other person needs to tell you what their point is, what they think, and how they see it. And then the other person needs to tell it back to them so that it makes sense. The way that you say it to me is exactly how I feel. So that everybody that, because a lot of times I say something, and most of the time, people in relationships that when they're arguing, they're just listening to respond. They're not listening to understand. So they say something and they're just looking for that piece where it's like, okay, I can get you there. I can respond to this so I can be right. They're not trying to understand the other person. They're just trying to be right. So when you're in an argument, the one person says what they feel, that person has to say it back to make sure that he's saying it right. That's how I feel. Um, and you have to be honest with yourself. You can't just say what how can I say, what you kind of think the person. You have to really try and understand what they feeling and the position that they are in. All right. On to the last one. In your opinion, what's the key to a successful relationship? Keys. I'm going to add an S there. There's many keys. There's not just one key. I think doing things together, making time for each other. Um, yeah, you have to. Obviously, everybody's different. We've got our own interest, but there's certain things that we do together. Like me and my wife, um, I love watching boxing and UFC, and she never really watched it, but because I enjoy it, and she kind of now she gets so excited when we watch the fights, but she'll watch the fights with me and she gets so amped up and so into it. So that's very good if you can have things that you can do together. We often go to coffee shops together and try new things, and we've got this love for coffee now that we share, and there's so find things that you can do together. So that's kind of important. And then what I think is very important is communication. Good, open, honest communication. You have to be honest and open. You have to, you in a relationship, so you're working as a team. I don't want to say against life, but in life. Um, so you have to communicate with each other. You have to tell exactly where you are, what you're feeling, how everything has to be open so that I know when she's in a weak point, so I can be like, okay, she's not doing well now. I need to support here and there. And then tomorrow she's feeling better, and then we go forward again. And then the next day I'm not feeling well, and we can communicate and say like, listen, I need this, or I'm here, or I'm that. And then she can stand in again. So you need that working as a team, communicating all the time. Um, yeah, very important. I think those two things, if you got those two things down, you can go a very long way. All right. Well, that's it then for this one. Let me just stop sharing this and yeah, just go out there, and date people and see there's so many people out there. There's literally billions of people out there, and yeah, and another thing, nobody's perfect. If you're looking for the perfect match or the perfect person, you're not gonna find it. Everybody's got their own little weakness or their own flaw or their own thing that they struggle with. And the thing that this person struggles with might be very easy for this one. So if you looking at your part, like my wife, she's got temper issues, anger issues, and she'll explode over nothing. And if I go and say, well, how can you do that? Or, I attack her over this point. I've got my own weaknesses. I've got my own flaws. So I need to look at my problems and try and work on me instead of pointing it out. It's good to point it out. I've told her before, like, hey, I've noticed this thing. You need to work on it. Um, and she's mentioned things to me that I need to work on, and but we don't put each other down over it. Don't put each other down. Just mention it so the other person can notice it and then work on it, and you improve. Anyway, that's not part of the English lesson. That's it then for today. Keep practicing, keep working at it, keep trying to speak as much as you can or whenever you can, or at least create sentences in English. Like I always say, good exercise. If you don't have somebody to speak to, write a diary in English or just type it. You can maybe type faster, but you're still forming sentences in English. So you've got a thought, you put it into words, and you need to practice that as much as you can. All right. Have a good evening. See you guys next time. Bye bye.